Hi, everyone. It's Diane Evans with stampingwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So if you've joined me and you've been joining me all the way along, welcome. I really do appreciate your support by you coming here and watching my videos or watching the replays. But if you're new, make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, which is right down below here. Plus also right down below here is a link to my Facebook group, which is going to be very important, especially for this particular type series. Welcome to How Did They Do That on Tuesdays? It's my Technique Tuesday class. I apologize for coming on a little bit earlier, but unfortunately, things happen and you have other commitments that you went, oh no. But in any event, thank you. I really do appreciate your support. Hello, Denise, and hello, Kay. If you are on Facebook, and I'm not saying who you are, I'm not sure who you are because you haven't given StreamYard permission. But in any event, hello. Technique Tuesday. Oh, I love this day. And honestly, I don't know if I'm running out of techniques, but by all means, please send in some different techniques that you would like for me to do. Make sure that maybe what you do is personal message me, giving you a personal message, because a lot of times I don't see, especially in the live feeds, I don't see unless you've tagged me in there or you've made a comment on the video. In any event, we are going to do, and this is a real old technique. Oh my goodness, you guys. It is called the Faux Silk stamping technique. I think I did this, about 20 years ago. It's done in a bunch of different types of ways. But this one, I like how this works. There's other ways of doing it. And that's going to just lead me to another technique that we're going to do later on down the road with like a faux silk done a little bit different. Awesome. Hello, Marie. Yes, it was great chatting to you. All right. So the faux silk technique is it creates a really delicate textured background kind of to your card. And it can be just stunning. I'm going to show you one that's not quite a faux silk technique, but it was done with cotton paper, which is very similar to tissue paper. So you will need some tissue paper. I picked up this tissue paper at the dollar store. This one tends to have a shiny side on one, so we're going to have to be very careful that we make sure that this shiny side goes down onto the card itself. There is two ways that you can do this particular stamping technique, and I'll go through that with you just shortly. Oh, there you go. Good. Hi, Lorraine. In any event, okay. So this one, it is. Let's just get going. It's probably easier, and I'm using some new product now. Unfortunately, this isn't mine. I had to borrow this from one of my team members. Mine is stuck at the borders, so but this one is a tropical leaf, and it's a really neat stamp set. It really is. It's philodendrons, right? I think that's what the plant is, and I like the font on there. I'm just going to do this to get this technique. I thought this one would be very good with this technique, so we're going to use that. I love any kind of a bundle that has a punch with it. Now, remember, these are part of the online exclusives that you have to go online. There's no printed copy of it at all. And it has all the different sort of things on there, but it's really a nice stamp set. It is photopolymer. So, like I say, we're going to need tissue paper. Now, we can go ahead and we can use this glue. We used to have a different type of a glue stick. And honestly, for demonstrating this online, I'm not going to use this. But if you are going to use this and you get it good and dry, use this end of your glue. Not too many people do use that end of your glue, but it has a flat side to it. But I find it just gets a little bit too gluey. What a word, eh? Oh my goodness, I'm having fun. So I am going to use just an old-fashioned glue stick. And I was in the dollar store and I picked it all up together. So I apologize. You can use that glue, but you have to be so much more careful with it, and it's much messier. I thought to myself I could mix it with water, but then because this is watercolor ink that we're using, it just blends it all out. So in essence, when I tried all of this, this worked out the best. And I think I got 4 for $1 something. So it was relatively inexpensive. All right. So we're going to color these philodendron leaves. I'm not going to use too much of the other stamp, but it is photopolymer. You do need to use your paper piercing mat. And I'll show you what these stamps look like on the back. So I've got the big leaf, and this is the one that punches out with the punch. I really like the little one. And it has the veins, the leaf veins on there. Those are about the only ones I'm using, plus also my sentiment. And I think we'll do a hello card on this particular one. We're also going to need our silicone mat. Just because of the way that we're applying the glue, we're going to need a silicone mat as well. So I have my colors. And geez, you know, you could go so many different colors with this particular one. It works really well. But I thought I'd use, oh my goodness, you guys, you're going to die, Granny Apple Green. I'm using Granny Apple Green. I think this is Granny Apple Green and this is Garden Green. And I am using Garden Green, which is a real shock to an awful lot of people. I am getting to the point I do like it. This would also work good with any kind of a light and a dark type green. So I think at this point, yeah, I think the Garden Green is going to work really, really well for us. Now, I cut this piece. This piece happened to be 4 1/4 by 3 inches, I believe. Yes, 3 inches by 4 1/4. And I layered it on, and I cut this with the stitched rectangles. And that one, I think, measures approximately 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. And this is just going to layer on here. But this is the piece that we're going to do the faux silk on. Let's just move that out of the way. All right. So I'm coming in with my Granny Apple Green. Hello. And I'm going to stamp my big one up. I'm going to come in with my Garden Green. When I originally did my sample, I even used Evening Evergreen. And you know what? I might just bring that in just because it might just give a bit of a dark color with it as well. So I've got this like this. I'm coming in. Let's see. I've got Garden Green. I've got my blending brush. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to use my blending brushes, and you could use your small ones on this as well. And you know what? I'm going to come in and put a tiny bit also of, the Evening Evergreen. Now, the reason I'm using the blending brushes is that I want it to not look like a complete line on there. So I'm just going to huff that up a little bit. And there's our first one. Now, honestly, I really think I should be using the little one as well. So we're going to go in. Let's get some, that should be that one. And then this one goes here. So I'm going to come in with a bit of the Garden Green. And we could use sponge daubers as well. And just like that. Oh, such a fun plant. And you know, if for those people that can't grow plants, this is one of those easy plants to grow. Just going to come in and clean in between on both of them. Let's go get some more of this. You could also use the rock and roll technique on here. And just put a bit of that Evening Evergreen on there as well. And of course, all of our leaves are going to be different, right? Let's just go there. And this is probably the most tedious part of the whole thing, is just stamping this part here. And while we're doing this, we're also going to go in and stamp our pieces that we're actually going to punch as well. Let's go there. And I don't know if I can two-step stamp this. Let's try right about there. Just clean that one off. I like it with the 3 colors on here, probably better than when I originally did it or tried it out. Okay, let's see. We can go down here. And with that, I should be able to just come up here and maybe put another one right up there. There, that'll work. Now, on here, I thought I would come in. This is the vein part. I'll just come in and just put that on there. I'm using the garden green on this particular one. You could use also the evening evergreen. Now, let me just, once we do this faux silk technique, you'll find that it doesn't really, this part, these stems don't show up as much as what they look like they could do there. And I'm also going to bring in the smaller stem as well. So brand new, like I say, I didn't get mine. So I'm using somebody else's. Thank you, Laura. I do appreciate that. I'll just replace her with mine so that she doesn't get the gummed up ones. All right, so let's just go in there. There we go. All right. Then I do have, you know what, let's clean those off again. Whoops, sorry. I have this smaller one. We're going to actually put that on something else as well. Now what I want to do is on this piece here, I want to stamp a couple of these that I'm going to punch out. So again, back doing the same sort of coloring that we've done with this, with the garden green and the evening evergreen. We're going to do a couple of these. So there's that one. Let's just clean that one off again. Like I say, so important that you do clean in between these stamps or else you're going to contaminate the color on the other stamps. And here. So like I say, again, I'm using Granny Apple Green, Garden Green, and also Evening Evergreen on here. Come in and just put this. I don't even know if we need this. You know what? I think I'm going to leave the leaves off of there. Now, I am going ahead, and these are going to be punched out, and they're going to be put onto here. So I'm coming in with my Granny Apple Green, a tiny bit here, and also some of the Evening Evergreen. And we're just going to go and put this on this part there. Myself, I might just use the garden or the Granny Apple Green on there. All right, so we have that. Plus also, I want to put the sentiment. I want to do hello on there. So we're going to do that in Garden Green. And then I'm going to take my my blending brush, and I'm just going to actually just blend around here. I just want to take that starkness of the white off. So we haven't even done the technique yet. All right, so let's see. Here. those. Okay, I think I can close these up now. So how many of you have seen this? All right. Okay, so we have that. Let's go ahead and punch this out. Don't you just love punches? I think I'm going to have to cut that one in just a second here. So I'm just going to, I always hold my punch down, or I position my hand in such a way that I rest it on the, got to cut this part off because it's not going to cut properly. Never. I will show you one that, like I say, I did that's kind of a takeoff from it. I did it this year, within the last year. All right, so this, we'll have that to put aside. Now let's do the technique. So like I said, you're going to need your, whoops, well, I hope that's okay. You are going to need a silicone mat. And like I said, this, if I use that glue, I think it's going to bleed because it even bled with this glue stick. There, I think I'll come in with my heat tool just to dry it just a bit more to make sure it's good and dry. Geez, you guys, no embossing on this card. There we go. All right, so now with the tissue paper, yeah, that'll work. You're going to squish it all up. You're just going to get it all wrinkly. The thing with faux silk, think of silk itself. Silk is wrinkly. As soon as you lean up against something, it gets wrinkly, right? If you have a silk blouse, mind you, I don't even think you see too many silk blouses anymore. They're more, if you're going to go that route, it's more of a bamboo, right? All right, so let's just undo this. Now there's a shiny side and there's a dull side. We want the shiny side down. We don't want the dull side up. So I'm just going to take this glue stick and we're just going to run it across here. We want it right to the ends. Like I say, we used to have glue sticks. They were great glue sticks. They were, all right. And now we're coming in with this, remember, on the shiny side down. And we're just going to lay this on here. And these wrinkles are very, very important. You want it to be wrinkly because that's what gives you the silk look. Don't really want it to be doubled over on itself. And honestly, I'll tell you something I did do this afternoon. After I had this faux silk done, what happened was I thought, oh, I'll cut that out with a stitched rectangle. Well, it flattened all this, the paper. So then it didn't look like faux silk at all. Now, I usually take a pair of scissors that I can gum up. Silicone scissors are really good for this sort of stuff, but I don't think it should come off. So I'm just, you can't use your trimmer because this tissue paper is very fragile. If you used your trimmer, you would rip it. So let's just go. And almost like that. This is such a pretty leaf. Like I say, they're easy to grow too. All right. So just tap it down and see how it looks, and it gives kind of an opaque look through. It softens those colors up, right? It definitely has softened all those colors up. All right. And I thought, oh, that's looking a little. So I thought I'd come in with a bit with my Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to take my little brush, and we're just going to just blend a bit of color on there. Usually when I do these techniques, the card itself is not the focus, it's the technique that's the focus. So tomorrow what's going to happen is I'll come in and I have this all written up for you. It'll be in the group down below, and then you can just download it. This is episode number 43 that I've done. Wow, I've been doing this for 43 weeks. Okay, so now we can go ahead and let's start putting our card together. I think that glue stick is worse than our glue. So I cut this out with the stitched rectangles, and I thought that would look really good on there. And then I got 3 3/4 by 4 inches for this side. So we have lots of layering going on here. Regular card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Let's go ahead, fold it into the mountain and come in with our bone folder. And this is just going to go on here. I'm thinking the white would be good there, but let's just take a look. Yes, I think it needs the white. You know what? I could probably come and just put a tiny bit. I'm not going to ink it up anymore. It's just going to dirty it a little bit. Is that the right words? Just take the starkness off. Right, so let's go ahead and put that on. So apparently, and I apologize, just the other day, so yesterday I think it was, I said that it was April. Well, guess who wants it to be April already? It could quite nicely be April as far as I'm concerned, but no, it's March. Daylight savings time in March. I'm not getting this on very good. Just, you know why? No, this should be okay. I'm going to have to get this down because what's going to happen is this has gotten to the point it's dry, so it's not going to go on as well. Let's just get it to this side then. Where it goes, it's going to go. There we go. And then we can go ahead and put this down. I'm not sure. No, I think we'll be okay. I'm going to glue this part down as well onto the garden green. So who's excited about the new colors? I know I sure am. I can hardly stand it. I might be using colors that are retiring at this point. We hope not. So like this. 43 great techniques. Thanks, Pam. Have you downloaded them all? Yes. We have to thank my friend Kathy. It was in May. We were coming back from lunch one day. And she says, why don't you do what you used to do for my clubs? And I said, yeah, I guess I should. Anyways, I'm not going to pop that up yet. And that's when it started, was in May of last year. Well, 9 away from doing it for a year, right? I do them while I'm away. I do pre-record them, so. All right. There we go. So there's your faux silk. And we have this piece here. So now this is what we can start popping up. We're going to put one of these here and here. Yes. You know what? I probably should have put those vines on there. So you know what? I'm going to go in the vines, the veins. I'm going to do it in the garden green. There we go. I should have had my paper piercing mat below. All right, so let's put this on there. And this like that. This will go straight on there. So, and we'll put this on with a dimensional or two. So, like I say, there's a few other ways of doing this faux silk. I'm kind of leaving it until the new catalog comes by. And then what I can do is I can show you with some of the new product in the new catalog. So, hello. That's just going to go there. Now, I did cut a couple of these sprigs here from the garden green and that. And this is from the, oh, this wasn't from Natural Prints. This is from the Flourishing Leaves, that beautiful bundle that we had from before. So I just thought that would look kind of nice to have some of that greenery behind there, like so. And then also, this ribbon got carried over. It has a garden green and a real red in it. And I've got a tiny bit left on this one. So we're actually going to go, but I'm not going to tie a bow with this ribbon. I'm going to do something just a little bit different. So just like that. And then I'm going to come in with my twine. We're just going to tie it. So this is going to kind of come out from here. And then I want to tie on there. So let me just go, and I'm going to put this on with tear and tape. And that probably should have been more together. There we go. Just like that. And then what I can do is I can use this to tie it. So this was a Christmas ribbon that did carry over. So it's kind of neat that you can use this on something else. I'm just going to pull this up. This is just to give a tiny bit of a different look to it. See how that looks. Might take it off. There we go. And let's just cut that, trim that off. We're going to pop this up as well with dimensionals. Oh, thanks, Pam. One set that you weren't going to get. Well, you know what? This was one that even thought of doing the monthly card class with. Thought it was a really pretty set. But I'm happy with the set that we're using. We're using Petal Park, so I'm happy with that as well. So we're going to glue that part down. Now, you know what I could do? That hasn't been down there. Yeah, I'm going to actually, oh dear. I'm going to put the green behind there as well. And then we'll just glue this down. When I kind of figure out how I'm doing something, it's not on there very straight. Ugh. That's not going to change. So let's kind of draw away from the fact that it's on there a little crooked. We're going to put this down there. Whoops, no, we're going to put this up here. Now that's glued down, so that's going to have to just wait for a second to dry. There, and we'll just put this down here. Now, as far as embellishments go on here, whoops, I don't know if you really need anything, but I'm going to put something on because they're retiring soon here too. That is really curled. You know, when your twine is curled, what you want to do is just take it and blow on it, and the heat and the moisture from your breath can straighten that. There we go. We want that to come down. There we go. All right. Then silver twine in your stash. Well, we do have some silver and gold, really 1/8 inch ribbon that's in the online store as well. And unfortunately, that's sitting at the border too. So my goodness, it's unreal. All right, so this is going to go on the inside. So let's go and put one of those little flowers on there, or little leaves. Oh my goodness, where did my leaf go? It's just right here. Maybe I'll just use this one. And that's just going to go right there. Whoops. I don't know how I'm going to do that. You know how I'm going to do that? I'm going to turn it over. I love our magical paper, right? And I should be using my paper piercing mat. That's why this is not stamping as good. There we go. I can put that on. There we go. My inside, I always do 3 3/4 by 5. Well, that's my preferred size, that's for sure. All right, and so these are the in color. These are last year's in color. But usually what happens is when there's an embellishment, they turn around and they retire the embellishments as well. So I might have to go with the darker ones here. And we'll put another one there. 3, 4, and we're using 5 on here. There we go. Just because I know they're retiring, right? All right, so there's our card. There's the Faux Silk Technique. So like I say, I'll have a picture of this card. I found my little leaf. It's right there. This gives you all the directions on how to do it. Like I said here on the variations, I went and I said, watch for another variation coming in the future because there's one that goes with it. The link to this YouTube will be put right here, and a copy of this. And then I always put if it's a different stamp set that we've never used and it's different product that you might say, well, where did you get that? That'll at least show on there. So that'll be good. Yes, it is a long time, Maureen. All right, so that's going to go on there tomorrow. Let me show you another one that I had done. It's not quite faux silk, but it is done with that cotton paper that we used to have. And I did it also with that bamboo one. And it was done, it really isn't the faux silk, but it's done with that cotton paper wrinkled up the same way and everything else. And just to let you know, I was so intrigued with this, was this wording on here, this Japanese wording, can be translated by Google Translate, and it means friend. I was just so tickled with that. So anyways, there we go. There's our Faux Silk Technique. And yeah, thank you. So like I say, if you have any ideas for me for different techniques on what to do, if I do a technique that's fairly similar to another technique, it will be a variation of it. Like I do have another one with rubber banding, but I had to wait for a certain stamp set to come on that. Do I prefer twine or ribbon? Obviously, I like them both. I'm a ribbon person. I really am. I did have this twine from Greatest Journey, and I was thinking of using that, but the garden green didn't quite go with this garden green. I like my baker's twine. I love the linen thread. That one's a real go-to. I use it on a lot of cards. I think it gives an awful lot more depth and texture to it. I am a big ribbon. I love ribbons. So it's just one of those. All right, so if you like that, make sure you give me the thumbs up. Share my video. I really do appreciate that. That's one of the biggest forms of a compliment that you can do. Also, if you live in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Yeah, share my video. Make sure that you're subscribed to my video. I really do appreciate it. So tomorrow, 9:05, this sheet will be in the Stampin' with Diane group. The link is right down below here in the YouTube, and it's also in the Facebook things. And then all you have to do is go to Files, and then it'll be under the technique part. So what's happening tomorrow? Tomorrow at 3 o'clock is the mystery. 12 o'clock, I will be posting the mystery clues. It just gets me doing certain cards that I need to do for various different challenges that I'm in as well. You know, you're so welcome. I just love the fact that you do join me. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys, have a great day. Remember to create, because it's great for the soul. Bye for now.